equal to 16 times the total explosive force of all the bombs and shells used by all the armies in World War II. Based in America, the Airborne Alert Force is deployed from the Persian Gulf to the Arctic Ocean, but they have one geographical factor in common. They are all 2 hours from their targets inside Russia.
Something poking him.
We set up a camera aimed at Rob's wrist.
You can see these orbs that will go up to his face and
Researchers have wondered for years what NASA cameras may have managed to capture in outer space.
Franklin, we see a long line.
Amazingly, these shocking video sequences shown here for the first time on television might prove once and for all that NASA knows UFOs are navigating just above the Earth and dangerously close to our space shuttle missions. When I saw the tape, I realized that I was looking at very exciting and incredible footage that has never before been seen by the public. David Sarita, former Defense Department subcontractor, has been studying NASA's possible interest in UFOs for over 15 years. And he believes this incident, which has since become legendary on the internet as the Tether incident, may prove UFOs are real. There are simple explanations for all the puzzling lights we see in our skies. Explanations for all. To conclude, there are simple explanations for all.
Good day to various media networks, and colleges, and government networks, and to the good citizens of Earth who might happen to hear what I have to say today. Have a theme. Let's get our thinking hats on. You're now thinking, well, who is this? My name is James Tidwell from Sacramento, California. I'm a comedy writer, hopeful inventor, and humanitarian. I have a patent pending with a invent help company on a GPS security watch for hikers, bikers, swimmers, everyday citizens, people with medical conditions. I hope for the future of this idea to be very much just everyday society if you want one. And you can get one as easy as purchasing a cell phone. BlackBerry has a GPS phone, but the concept that I have, military for many years, the pilots have had GPS watches, but that was government. My idea is through the private sector citizens, but the government could get involved. Enough support for such a project to get it moving fast is, I think, a real wise society decision to have that. People out walking, kids walking home from school, just anybody. It's not the main topic of today's conversation. And I'm here in Sacramento in my office, my studio. It also happens to be my home, where I live and have for close to 11 years now. I've sent out a lot of letters on various issues, humanitarian-wise mainly. HaimeEarthYahoo.com. Hundreds of letters. The most surreal thing is I do get responses that they've received the letters, but I've never actually had one individual email me back and say that was a very interesting letter. If you have anything more to add, please do so. So I've resorted to this. I am going to start YouTubing and video emailing as many people as I can about the issues that I'm involved in, such as the GPS watch. I think the government, and if you're in the private sector and your company wants to help back that my GPS watch idea, I'm no engineer, but yet again, we're working with invent companies. Good idea. We're taking our time. We're rating a lot of different factors and so forth and so on. And surreal, actually. Let's get on the move. Get an engineer, design the watch. Get together with Garmin, DeLorme, BlackBerry, somebody. Get it marketed. Get it out there to the citizens. But that's me. I am who I am, where I am. I only have so much pull. But hopefully, people of that have some power and authority could get involved with that project. I'd like to think of them sitting right here. Anyhow, let's move along. Put my thinking hat number 1 on, SeaWorld, because I can't quite fathom. Another idea, just we have enough time, I think I have an hour, is what they allow me. Why don't we save it till later, towards the end of our discussion today. Okay, today's discussion is about orbs that have been filmed. Okay, I have my telescope over there. I might as well put it on, and I have looks like a Mad Hatter poster. I'll go ahead and point it right there and consider it being pointed at collective astronomers and I could use their help as far as this is what we know. Observatories collectively are through that lens into my mind. Orbs. What's an orb? It's like a ball of energy. It's seen moving through fields. You've heard of crop circles? Okay, in and out of buildings, and there's probably not one airline pilot or military pilot who hasn't seen an orb. Their capabilities, besides floating around the planet and getting into what we would say invisible airwaves, dark matter, gray matter, and somehow being able to use their orbs for various reasons. Now, there's probably not one airline pilot who probably went, whoa, do I report this, or do they think I'm upside down, topsy-turvy? I don't think most of them do. But if you were to ask, most of them probably said they were. Astronomers, same thing. Look like blips. You know, when you were a kid, you watched follow the bouncing ball in the sky. Okay, here's the deal. Now, I think probably what I'll do is I'll go to my computer. Starting to call it HAL. Remember the movie 2001 Space Odyssey? Well, something went wrong somewhere through computation. Anyhow, why would you call your computer HAL? Well, I'm still waiting for help. No pun intended. I have a letter here that I've sent out. I think it's rather fascinating. The letter you are receiving is for psychology, astronomy, and science department. It is also for the general public and the government. It should be shared and discussed for a better understanding. I will give you my contact information at the end of the letter. I am more than available for further discussion about my own personal case. This letter is in regard to a growing understanding that many people currently being diagnosed or that have been diagnosed with schizophrenia are perfectly sane people with no history of mental illness in their background. The truth is, the voices they are hearing are actually coming from a location where there are people involved. There have been more and more documentations of orbs around people. People becoming upset. Hey, a lot of people don't hear voices, but they get a sense that there's something in their presence, that there's somebody or something here. They're not ghosts, okay? People who have been crafty enough and financially solvent enough to buy infrared cameras have captured the orbs actually right there. And the person's like, why? We don't necessarily know exactly for random why these orbs would more than harass people. Okay, it really does go into the fathoms of. Maybe I should get now, considering what we're talking about, structure area 51, and just add a 5-0 investigation, 5150. The law term for that is nuts. That's crazy. Well, thinking that. If you're hearing a ringing from the camera, that's on purpose. Okay. That's my 1980s camera. If you can't tell, I'm from the 80s. Really cool generation. I was 31 years old here in Sacramento. So when I started hearing, got a sense of, whoa, to begin with, feeling rather maybe a ghost around or something. Then I began hearing voices, making really no logical sense whatsoever, saying things. If you have a question or you want to have a conversation about who they are, or where they're from, or what are you doing psyching into my head, okay? You don't get any answers. It has been 11 years this month that I have been psyched in on. And that ringing, that bzzz that you're hearing from the camera is inside my head every waking moment on a real high degree. It has thrown my life into a complete nightmare. Not to mention, I have, for days, weeks, and sometimes months, every day, had conversations that were nonsensical to the point of, okay, I finally started to have some communication with some of the voices that I heard. Okay, they do have an area code that is very much related to who we are in history. They have been a mystery, but yet again have left clues. Most of us have heard of, if not all of us, the book called the Bible. Okay? There's a certain ending to the book that probably should have never began. No probably to it. It's called the New Testament. The Orb's area code in the universe is the exact area code. Should have a polygraph man. Okay, I'm being as honest as I can about exactly where the orbs are coming from. The other major religion that was set up here, both of them were set up from the same area code. Both of them were set up as a intellectual, I don't know if they thought it was a challenge or a mockery, or at this point both. It has been over 2,000 years. We have not heard from those people. But yet again, what I have been told through our documentation, they are in and out of our planetary system. Okay, when I said earlier this is also for the government, this recording should also reach Washington, and particularly Obama. Why these people would not and have not had any relationship with government and scientists sharing who they are, where they are, and their science. Okay? Very, very troubling, but truth needs to be known. That's exactly what I'm speaking here today, truth. You notice my skeleton over there with the pink hard hat on. Now remember what you're hearing, that I am hearing, and then also hearing, I call them the Orbanuts, or the Orbanutsis, because that's the attitude they've taken with Earth for thousands of years, their area code. Okay, they do not see generation after generation of people from Earth recycling their lives like they do through their science. And I was also told their planetary system really does not know of them. They are their own area code, like a corporation, or members only corporation that just, and it's very, very secure where they are. That I have been told there were individuals who tried to get to where the orbs operate out of their area and shut them down, but were unsuccessful. Is this potentially a threat for the Obamas, particular Barack? I would say so. If you start to argue with them, you start to hear more of them. And my argument was, okay, why don't we consider this civil rights? And we've all heard of civil rights. Well, this is civil rights. It is, to me, I would argue with these people for a very long, for hours at a time, okay? Why would you have not? If you could float around our planetary system, certain areas could have used. There have been some very advanced areas of our world. When in Rome, aqueducts, arts, you name it, and culture. You just turn the power off here, and give us horse and buggies. Not much difference. Okay, music, everything. Absolutely baffling that they would float around and see areas of. Let me go back into the psychiatric factor. You may ask yourself, right now, James, are they talking? And the answer, truthfully, yes. Okay, what are they saying? I'm not going to repeat what they're saying, okay, today. I don't think that's necessary. Nothing nice at all. There was an article, when I said other people, there are shows like Ghost Hunters and Paranormal Activity. These people need to get in touch with the truth. There was an article in the October Scientific American magazine by a young lady in London who was going to college. Ironic, I'm sending a lot of these letters and this video also to college, who started out of nowhere hearing, and I read the article, and that is just a horrific nightmare for that individual. There would not be enough publishers clearing mind to where, hey, young lady, you are free to go anywhere you want to go financially. That is such an unbelievable nightmare. Well, I don't believe all people with psychiatric problems are hearing orbs, but when you see caught on tape ordinary people talking to their families, so forth and so on, there's something to it. I wish I had an infrared camera. So that's a very interesting article. October Scientific Mind magazine. It's upsetting. I was 31 years old. She said she was 19. It's been 11 years this month, so you can do the math on how old I am. Okay. Topics of. I have another give me a minute here. Why don't we go back into this letter that you've been sending? Okay. By this point, people might start to, the hair on the back of their necks, James, may be starting to rise. I'll point to another hat. Mine may go into wings. Yeah. The red Firebird hat. I'm into arts and crafts too, and music. I normally wear my earbuds. These, they're like fangs. They're like fangs. You know. What in the world? In the fabs. So, it is truly, truly unbelievable. But that helps, wearing music, exercising, even though once the orbs truly get, like I'm starting to get nauseous, where you have to go lay down or actually go throw up. Yeah, all types of medical conditions. And when this first started, nightmares first started, I did a Dukes of Hazzard. I had too much to drink, And I was like, my mind is, I'm out of here. And young enough and dumb enough, so I have my past stories of what in the world. And I don't try to out drive or outrun or out swim. I do know the American River. Well, necessarily you could, but you shouldn't. Obey all the laws to the T. Who we are, where we are. My philosophy, if I were involved with churches, would be probably stay out of the New Testament altogether. That is such a whoa. I have an analogy here. Bring out. So there's one of my squirrels. I make there it is. And a really good analogy would be, all right, probably about 1,000 times bigger on that New Testament and their involvement when you consider the wars, the Nazis, the Iron Cross, yeah, round up the Jews. Actually, factually, beyond the fads of unbelievable. From people here being surreally unbelievable. Of higher intelligence, just outright, spell it out, G-R-O-S-S. People are people. Why can't it be? You and I should get along easily. Holy land, territory, terra based on religious factors. Okay, this video needs to be translated. Okay, if I can get together with professionals, translation radio is one on my high agendas of an invention I did. Now, if you were to go to the United Nations where they get together, they put the headphones on, translating music, movies, certain movies. There's one with Adam Sandler called Remember the Zohan. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. If that were translated and dropped like flyers, letters, all over any area where there's a problem, there would have to be a timeout by those individuals. So that's an idea. Like I said, I'm going to try to get this video out to as many colleges, to as many colleges and probably the government to get to work on doing that and setting up translation radio stations or just airmail. Where was I? If you were involved in churches, I would stay out of the New Testament, go to the Old Testament, and I would say, hey, let's add the final chapter, and that is in God we trust, and start taking the best of our Constitution, the best amendments we feel make the most difference, and talking about them in hopes of minds amongst minds. All right? I have also heard voices who say, James, remain calm. Okay, you are not alone. There are other computators in the universe who are very aware of, and that is the main reason why the orbs do not truly come through. But they cannot, however, your camera, you're focusing, our camera are focusing. Wave varials, channelers amongst channelers. We're hoping they go down into the AM factor versus the FM, and then totally their channeling gone of minds amongst minds. it's got to be complicated. Yet again, I definitely have my hopes, as I do with the thinking hats on. So there was the Ram one. So when considering thinking hats and locking horns, that's exactly what my life is. And that's a life overall, I believe. The thought of, say, the first Earth age, okay, why the cover-up of, if you look around, from the degree of artistry involved in creational science, it goes into the fathoms. I have been told by the orbs that our planetary system, okay, let me also say this, I have also been told there are more than where that area code, the New Testament, is located, where the orbs come from, as far as planetary systems that can sustain life. Fact. I ask more questions, I don't receive any more answers other than that. And I think their time with me, some of them have shown enough respect to be truthful enough about a lot of them, whoever their power hierarchy is, their history, they're not going to change their theology. Yeah, they just can't see a relationship. And I had the pink hard hat on there. Considering that going on, I think I'll put my, because it's high right now. Whatever you're hearing, you can add about 10 more degrees. Looking for the cure. There is no doubt that many of the equations that are flowing into our world, that have flowed into our world, did not come from our world. Now there are some foul people in our world that probably have cooked up some some rather foul diseases, but that's not true of all. Okay, it is processing through. When concerned about, I've asked the orbs, do you actually have a department in your orbit Nazi area where you're formulating diseases and sending them through the invisible matter airwaves into our planetary system? And I don't get any answers. I have heard them say they won't quit clearing minefield. That leads me to believe that they're not good. Okay, not good at all. While this camera is on, I'll ask a question, because what I'm recording here today, I'm going to send out to anyone and everyone who can. Perhaps, become very, very interested in the truth of what Mr. Tidwell here is talking about. Do you have anything that you would like to say to me at this time, after 11 years of being brutalized by you people, why we're here in front of my people, Earth? I'm going to say exactly what you're saying. Tell them, okay, minds amongst minds. Someone keeps you from, will not quit clearing minefield. Okay, we're not getting a good, almost impossible to get any information from them. That's not a good thing to say, all right? I've had so much discussion of, the possibilities for having a relationship. They have told me, and I have drawn pictures of them, they look absolutely nothing like people from Earth. Yes, people from Earth. If you're wondering, questions start to, we have our thinking hats moving here fast with you. Well, I plan on being around a long time. I got the skeleton there for a lot of reasons. Like I said, I'm very thankful to be here today talking with people from Earth, okay? So, ascension. People ascended here. I've asked questions, how does your science work? I have my science cards around here somewhere, you know. Yeah, there's not enough science cards. I don't get any, zero. Well, how are you doing what you're doing? Why is our number one question. What is a diol? Diols? Diol. A diol is a molecule with two hydroxyl OH groups. Now, here's a good one. There we go. Genetic drift refers to changes in the gene pool due to chance. Gene flows refer to the changing of the gene pool due to the migration of individuals. Okay, here we, right, I did this, saw that one and then went back to this one. Lamrich's theory of evolution is based on the inheritance of acquired characteristics. And there's something to that, passing down traits, so forth and so on. But to call evolution anything other than evolution would be wrong. Completely and thoroughly wrong. They look absolutely nothing like us except for they're 10 and 10. They have very large craniums. And in pictures I've drawn for, I've been told they are extremely tall as a group of people. So I guess, you know, the evolutionists gives the people of Earth some other people to look up at as they look down on our world. Unfathomable. Why don't we do this? I'm going to make a note of, go back into the C-Vel conversation towards the end here of our discussion. Let's go back into the letter that I wrote and sent out everywhere. And that lady in Leeds, that's her college in London, she works for Leeds. Yeah, no way on something like that. Absolutely devastates a person's life. I had just personally separated from my common law wife. And we're still friends to this day. And we have kids together. But being around them, Thanksgiving, so forth and so on, you're just totally like, you know, where, you know, what in the world, and you're looking at your family and you're wanting to be able to explain what in the world is going on here. And I haven't really been able to do that because of emotions, losing time and memories, and potentially your life. More than potentially, I'm not going to go into the details of me being here, speaking with people from Earth. Wow, that is hopefully going to continue, and they would want to hear from you. Sir, really, you've sent out how many? Oh, hundreds of emails on various subjects that are very interesting, such as what we're talking about today, and not one person has ever emailed me back and said, that was very interesting what you had to say. So, enough of me. Let's get back into, I did think of that lady. If I ever become successful, I will send a copy of what we're talking about today to her school, if not want to meet her and say, I'm telling you, from what you said in that article, I know what you're talking about. The greatest question of all time in regards to Earth and our history relative to theirs we're hoping for a breakthrough of the cosmic wall, the cosmic law. Collective minds. Like I said, I do hear other voices. I have not had any as far as who they are or where they are. They just said they are on a completely different level of channeling. I'm hoping that we are actually back from space and time on this nightmare. I have been told the chemical, electrical, photosynthesis, circulating, holding everything together, okay, consider it like the real world. When people pass, when they die, their aura is not just an aura. Their memory, physical body, I mean, through the electrical, chemical, photosynthesis, reacting, factoring of life and people. It's that type of connection gone into what I would say the cores. Now, there are billions of people. I have been told many, many times, people are going to have lives again. The planetary system is going to be refactored. Why we're having problems with that? There are billions of people at this point. That is a lot of people. We had a planet the size of Jupiter, like 10 times. That's probably possible in the future. The hopes of creational scientists, minds amongst minds, on a completely level of looking around, who created who, back online with the understanding that this will never, ever, ever, ever happen again, that people of higher intelligence are going to have a relationship with either our true creators, because evolution, someone had a hand, it looks like, because no one has reported back to this planetary system. Okay, we have not had a breakthrough as far as where did we come from, where are we, and where are we going. And that's not true with who you are looking at and what I have been living and been able to establish as minds amongst minds. I'm hoping that the creational scientists either are adaptive and would, want to have a relationship very much based on what I believe, and I've been told that's true, and that's in God we trust. So, it's a theory right now. I have theories and I use analogies. That here's a green apple. I'm kind of superstitious now. I don't eat red apples. No way. What was that? Adam and Eve in the garden. All right. And I have my red, may your cup really be large and overflow, and it's got all the animals of it was all the Big Bang Theory. Evolutional. Been told a lot of our theories are not real correct. These billions of years and so forth, and I'm waiting for more. I'm no scientist, I'm no astronomer, I'm no psychologist. All right, I'm a man who has why they would, I don't know, same as this lady here, exactly, minding your own business in life, yeah, for the most part. So, theories, aquarium universe, into the fathoms of, hoping that someone that looks in on aquarium universe does the computation of, whoa, what do we have here? We have other computators. And I've been told that not very long ago in our history, what I'm talking about as the real world, that flesh to flash photography, and you're on real as far as life is concerned. I have been adamantly told that was not the case of Earth, and that for only in the sense of time and space and our history, I mean, let's say more than 100 years ago, someone was working in the minefield to try to that flesh to flash. I'm going to be around with my lens wide open as best I can, gathering. That's sickening. It is sickening to think about. But as far as today, and being very, very, very hopeful, but yet again honest about life. So no red apples. Unless I cook them and skin them, then I'll eat them. Same with bananas. Unless I freeze them. You can freeze bananas. They'll last indefinitely. Not many people do that. I have so much footage, so much topics for society to benefit society. It goes into the depths of. I've tried to on the email with a lot of my letters. I don't know if it's because of what I don't know. I'm hoping with go ahead and go on camera to see if it makes a difference. And that's what I'm going to do. And I should say that's what we're going to do. Because I do have a presence with me that comforts me when it gets to a point of I think, hey, I'm losing respiratory function here. These people have become completely psychotic, psyching in on me. That still can be turned down, but whoever's with me saying in hopes of, I hope they're being, I hope they're continuing to work on computators amongst computators, and super computators, developers amongst developers, creational scientists against extinctionist scientists. I would looking for the cure. There's a lot of this pink stuff around. You're not supposed to open umbrellas inside, James. I don't care right now. I'm tired of the cover up. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and molecules spinning. Sometimes you can almost see a fog. A fog, yeah. I wonder if I got together with, my hopes are to get together with either a college or scientific research facilities. Do you think that possibly they would want to do MRIs and set up the infrared, since they do, the orbs follow you around, sometimes for days, every waking moment, talking. I've heard of other people have had that happen. That's the lady in this magazine, the Scientific American, in mind, yeah. But they said, I've talked to some of the voices are a lot nicer than the others, the orbs, but still call them collectively the Orbanuts, because that is crazy. Like we couldn't use the science of the Bible 2,000 years ago. Peace on earth, very, 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 very surreal, unreal. Theoretically does not seem possible that the history of our world continues on a lesser intelligence level. Theoretically, yeah, into the fathoms. The fathoms, the fathoms, the fathoms. Hopeful for the future. I do have my UFO, you know, it says Obama on it. I don't think he would think this is funny at all. And I have a lot of, I keep up with the news, but I will probably at a later date talk about my views and what we should do on a societal collective. I'm trying to start a network, an advisory network called Mind's Eye on Earth. I'm very, very hopeful for the future of that. When I said I would argue with these people, what do you think about Martin Luther King? Okay. What do you think about people like Christopher Reeves and their family? People that you might possibly have helped, even though they did say that Christopher Reeves, that the Orbs would not be able to get him back online. Well, what do you think about Michael J. Fox with Parkinson's? Or other people, they said they could help those people to a point of they wouldn't have Parkinson's. You know, releasing a certain chemicals in the brain via the orb science. Knowing that, the science of the Bible, okay? I've asked them why, when was the last person that was ascended? And they answered to Minds Amongst Minds. They said a long time ago. That does not happen now. But it did, okay? And Muhammad, if you're wondering about the major religions, did not make it to their planetary system. Okay? The other guy from the New Testament did. And became a one of the hierarchy of the Orbanetsis. Follow the what? Follow the star. That wasn't it. Those people, when that first started to happen, that whole book, the New Testament, the whole book, the Bible, gauge the situation someday, and there's not enough birdshot through a shotgun and just blow the book away. Okay, in God we trust we can do that someday. Pecking order problem. I guess when I got my turkey feather there. I guess when we just cannot take flight collectively and get to where that hell is coming from, we have enough problems as it is here collectively on Earth as it is. Okay, the forming of Mind's Eye Advisory Network. Where was I? Back to C-Vel rights. I would argue with these people. And it becomes a point to where, you know, I have gone out like standing up. Like, I don't know how they affect me, but I wake up and I'm like, whoa, there's something concentrated in here. And you can literally see like a fog sometimes. So, but anyway, Martin Luther King, C-Vel rights. In that Africa, these people knowing, genetically wise, that race of people, from where we come from, would probably be like, they received the prize. But to make a continuing mockery of genetics and area codes, and, you know, the old saying, go back to Africa, well, I think we should, okay? My third generation grandma, from what I was told, through the Native American side, was African. So, hybrid theories. I asked them, are there people that were ascended there? What happened? Are they still walking around? They said, absolutely bred out. Analogy here, there were a lot of Asian people in Russia for quite a long time. And you can somewhat see that there were in many, many Russians, but yet again, no. That's the same analogy. Cosmic law, cosmic law. I do like the Buddha religion more, but I don't think anybody should dedicate their lives to just totally like in focus of and not have a life themselves and be productive. Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. So, where was I? I have my pink dogma, my own definition of dogma. What's your belief? You know, and then of course my buddy there, Monkey and Ted, keep me. So you've been isolated here. Now 11 years this month. I do have friends, but it's very limited. I'm hoping over in this area and with this area over here, I can talk to people here about a lot of different things. Where was I? Oh, yeah, arguing about how in the hell, what in the hell was wrong with you people? Huh? I don't want to go into the history of. There's been messed up. I want what you got, and you're mine, no matter what, slavery and so forth. That is disgusting. These people have no respect for. It looks like a premeditated mockery. Here's what I suggest. Forming part of the African American mind's eye from Earth sector of, which is no sector of. We will sector off. There have never been in the history of Earth more African people who are very, let's say, financially in the area of helping to form what I'm talking about. Go back to Africa, that we should do. Sports franchises, NFL, NBA, entertainment. Every NFL team should adopt an African country. Should start to learn Swahili if you are African, or even if you're not African. And start to set up what? Set up base, okay? There's not enough social factoring that could be done. It's getting organized, communicated, and talking about the truths of our world. This discussion today is based on just that. I have this pencil. Yeah. So, hopefully in the future that could happen. It should happen ASAP if you think about that continent. Getting to the Middle East, having a understanding of, let's set up from our military bases to their private sector, translation radio stations with a Lowe's warehouse where we can distribute needs and so forth. Organizations. Hopes for Mine. How long has it been? We've been talking. I'm not real sure. I may have to get up. I don't think it's been an hour. You could stay and talk a little longer. I plan on talking a lot, hopefully. I don't know if anything, I do receive responses. We've received what you're talking about, but they're the automated. What's the, prove you're not a machine? Yeah, prove it. Well, I'm trying, okay. Theories. And angry beyond bad. But I have to maintain myself because you have to maintain. Try to get your exercise and do so forth. That's what we do. Website would be nice. Would be the next thing I would try to do. Would like some acknowledgement first of all of yes, we have heard of you, Mr. Tidwell. Okay. Should leave Sacramento. You and your family should be. There is not enough support you should receive to leave Sacramento. What's in the name Sacramento? That's been an extra boost for these haters to hate on you. And, okay, don't think they want you to to form the relationship with your home world that you're able to form and what you're talking about. Bottom line, I would suggest, and I'm speaking in the third person, because why? We are not alone here. We, the people. I would suggest, if there's a college, a major college with a large science, astronomy, neuroscience department, that you go be put on the payroll, basically. Actually, there wouldn't be enough publishers clearing mind and about all the universe for you at this time, but you need to leave Sacramento. Okay, comedy writer. Okay, I have a lot of material. I made a promo tape. Made a mistake. Used the same camera, and so they're probably like, that is not. That is the truth. This man is not lying. 11 years. Medical problems. At least brain surgery around. I would let someone for sure take a look inside and see what type of do we have. A good analogy is when you take a biscuit that's hard, okay, you put it in the microwave, all right, you'll start to see smoke come off of it, all right, but if you take it out, it looks still like a biscuit, but if you open it up inside, that's what you have. But on the outside, it just looks still like a normal biscuit. This one I did a little bit of over fry, but I wanted to get my point across with what you're hearing. Don't like that word across, but indefinite speaking. Hi, my name is. If I were a comedian, hi. My name is Hein. I like to rhyme. I may tell, this is not to the Fabs. To the Fabs not a funny topics that you're talking about, especially that Orb Awareness stuff, which is the truth what you're saying. But if I were, pretty good one. I have a lot of artsy craftsy stuff that I do. And that's the Home Depot, my Home Depot Big Bird. I'll share a couple stories, and that's about it. You should stay serious about, and actually factual, what you're saying. You should not be here very much longer, isolated. For the most part, I do have friends, but it's for the reason of to just get around them to see it. Something's going to happen all of a sudden. You do start to get a look from them like maybe they're not starting to feel so well, so I leave. I'll share a couple stories. Like I said, I put together a promo video about 45 minutes long of comedy material. I have enough comedy material for, say, 2 stand-up comedy movies. Who would be ideal? Well, I think Jim Carrey would be ideal. Some people say I look a little bit like Jim. Well, you could find him for sure. I know he has his own studio and dinner and a movie and the cost to make the movies. And all my material, dozens and dozens and dozens of stories I've never heard before. I think they're pretty cool. Also share my 2 of them. Okay. Enticing the sumo. If I owned a pro hockey team, to fly to Japan, find a really large sumo wrestler, fly him back to the States to my hockey team, flyers around. It's a team, isn't it? Yeah. Well, document training here. enticing him into it's a good idea to sign a contract. Now, hopefully, I'll get a contract. You deserve. Where was I? Okay, it's documenting, training him on the ice, and then introducing him as my goalie. Game over. And so that's one of the stories. I won't share too many more because of this conversation is so serious. You know, well, that's how I alleviate the hate. Okay, I have humor involved. I don't know if I'm going to send this to, I said to all the citizens of, I'll probably send them to the psychology departments, the astronomy departments, and to certain media. And they might want to say, hey, let's get together with you, help you, and do maybe some diagnostics. And hopefully things will, and find out more if they're still gonna, orb in on you. I don't hear them all the time, but that that you're probably hearing from that camera, that is on all the time. So they've hotwired my mind. There's other people, I think it's called tinnitus. They hear ringing. So however that's triggered, they were able to do that with me to an extreme level. Not cool. Like take a pair of headphones, put them on, go hook them up to some of this like real trebly or like almost real close to what that camera does. Yeah, when they started talking, kind of wanted them to be here today, and just to see if, like I said, to start asking questions, or if they would just go away, and they're not they're not gone, and the ringing is on. All right, and it's not cool. So, yeah. And let the ink just go. No way you don't have a NASA hat. I don't have a NASA hat. I do have my poster, the Discovery. Poster. And no, I did not find it on eBay. But I think someday, through Mind's Eye, that Discovery shuttle, which was successful, many missions to survive, people should, if they are part of Mind's Eye, all right, also want their Discovery shuttle. Mind's Eye changing people's attitude into altitude and having an aerial mind, seeing our world from an aerial view. You can go online and GPS where your house is. The government won't tell you, but they can do more, I think, with their infrared and so forth. Our technology is beyond fast, but there continues to me more positive sides through the science and the nanotechnology. The more discovery of matter, gray matter, dark matters. These are all currents. When I say aquarium universe, or you could, another analogy I will use today, reactor Earth and the factoring of reactor Earth, and those who factor. We help to factor Earth greatly. Our carbon emissions are much better. I asked the orbs, those that are cooler, who are actually nicer. I won't say any of them are nice. No, that I would not say. Not say. When did the planetary system look the most sick? And they said the 70s. With the emissions were tremendous. In the factories, the large dinosaur cars, they said the planetary system actually looks sick. It doesn't look as sick now. So that's a good thing. But you never know. When we have had some disaster. Might not should have said reactor Earth. It's an analogy. They shut the reactor down, Rancho Seco, here in Sacramento. Yeah, it's not a bad idea about any of them. And use paddle wheel technology from the oceans. Just giant, just keep it going. Why they do that? It's called turbines. It's called, I don't like to use the word dam. Nothing like being damned. Cosmic wall, cosmic law. Whoa, wow. I do hope you find our conversation interesting today. I don't know if it's been an hour. I will probably, let me get up and check the camera. I say we take this to a limit of around 51 minutes. Okay, it says, I think I've got very few minutes left here. I may have gone overboard and not known it. So I'm going to go ahead and give you, I hope you have found this conversation interesting. I'll give you my, it's HiMeEarth@yahoo.com. I will attach the letter, maybe two of the letters. One of them I've given the government when the FBI came here and got in contact with me. It didn't have to do with talking about orbs. It had to do with national security, so I'll be careful who I send it to. And I will also have a phone number where you can reach me. Now, I would like to be in contact with someone, hopefully from colleges or scientific study, government, anyone who wants to talk with me. If not, I will continue to send out my information. I don't think it's been an hour, but my tape is running out. All right. Very interesting. Feeling fat is interesting. My goodness.
That our American president stayed interested in UFOs. Before he was president, Jimmy Carter saw a UFO and even reported it to authorities.
Moffett Field played host to a very special visitor this weekend. Air Force One touched down Sunday evening, bringing President Barack Obama to Silicon Valley to headline a town hall-style meeting about his jobs creation legislation. After the president deplaned, he was welcomed to the Bay Area by NASA Ames Center Director S. Pete Worden, as well as the mayors of Mountain View and San Jose. NASA Ames is the